Hey guys, so I'm at the portion of doing the bed frame right now. Um, as you can see, I'm using the, not really sure what to call that, indentation or whatever of the van. It's going to be resting on there. That is a 60-degree angle, and table saw is only going to get you, some table saws 45, mine goes to 50. So the best way to do that is to first cut a block that's 30 degrees, and once you cut your 30-degree block, oh, which way am I going? Okay, so once you cut your 30-degree block, you can then attach it to just a regular stud here, and flip it around, and then that's a 30-degree plus 30, then you have a 60-degree. So your wood piece is going to come in. Obviously I'm going to clamp that down. This is just for demonstration purposes, and there you go, you have a 60-degree angle. And that's how I accomplished these first 4 cuts here that were 60 degrees. I'm sure there's a bunch of other ways you could do this, but that was the easiest way. I'm going to run some studs coming down. These are going to be 16 inches apart. That's to code for doing studs. I might plus or minus that an inch or two. It just depends on positioning, because I still need to get down and reach certain things like fuses and such. Alright, so I'm going to cut these out. It's going to be, I believe, 5 long pieces going left to right, and then I'm going to do some studs going down to the floor. Okay, so I had to take a break. I had to mount those panels. You'll see in another video. So I went ahead and put this final strip up there before putting on those cross beams, which I'm not going to do yet because I have to do this wood piece that's going to be in front of the AC and batteries and all this stuff. So how am I doing that? Well, it's kind of difficult, especially when things are not the exact measurements on both sides. So, I mean, first I have to measure from there to there, and then from there to there, there to there, which is a slight difference in measurements already. From there to the wall, there to the wall, which is a slight difference on both sides. From there up, and then a 60-degree angle that way, and then flat on top here. So you really just have to measure all the points. I can't really teach you how to do that. It just takes, it's trial and error. Take a big piece of ply and you mark out your edges. You can see here my measurements are 43 7/8 from left to right here, and then it goes up 8 1/8, and over here 8 1/4 up, and then over 11 5/8 over there, 11 1/2 if I remember correctly, and then it goes up. So obviously you want it to be straight, so you have to measure from not just from here to there, but you need to measure that your points are correct from there to there and there to there, and the same thing on both sides. I then took one of my wood pieces that I showed you how to cut a 60-degree angle. I've got the final piece that's up there right now that's not mounted, that little piece right there, and I laid it on top of here at the top, and then I drew out the template. Now I'm going to cut larger up here, and then I'm going to mark a line as soon as I get it fitted. I may have to remove this a couple times to sand down edges to make it perfect, to make it fit. It may not slide in there perfectly the first time. I don't know. We'll see. This is a very wonky piece. So I'm going to leave some extra up here so I can fit it in and then mark a line from my true top of that beam there. Anyway, continuing on. Alright guys, so here I am so far. That's for the wiring that goes up through the to the sink cabinet there. This was a lot of work. I've been working on this for hours and hours. This is for the AC unit. That's for the AC. That's for the heat. Just a lot of measuring and remeasuring and remeasuring and placing and then taking it out and cutting more holes and back and forth. A lot of patience. Alright, here's our finished product here. I went ahead and put one of those screens that you can get from Lowe's, and then I just put a frame around it. I don't know if I filmed that or not. Very easy. And then that is the intake, the air intake, or the air return. And I got it pretty near perfect. I mean, I don't think I could have done any better. Wires go through a little hole there. This is going to nail right on top of the beam that goes left and right, which is right here. I just have to put it right there next to it. Just like so. That's the AC vent and the heater, which I'm ready to put on there right now. Couldn't have done that any better. Gonna continue on with the framing. It's getting late now. That took all day. Maybe tomorrow. Alright, so I'm gonna show you before things get a little too busy in here. So I've got these 21-inch studs going up and down, just 2 screws going into the wall there. That's just to give it support. I've got some studs going up and down here, as well as sideways and into the floor to keep the water tank in. Let's go ahead and slide this out. It's not permanent yet. I've got another couple studs that way, and a little block there, acting as a stud, sitting on the propane tank. I'm going to do a couple going this way. You can see here that I've mounted the wood into the metal there using some self-tappers. I have nailed the front panel into the first board there, and it is completely flush. I'm also going to create a lip, which I'll show you here shortly, to keep the wood squares that I'm putting up on top. It's going to be very compartmentalized. There's going to be 9 squares, and you can lift them up and then be able to access everything in case I need to do maintenance or get stuff or put stuff away or whatever. That's the heat return and the main heat and the AC from the back. That's pretty much it. I'm going to make a wood strip the size of from here to the wall. It's going to lay on top of the wood. It's going to be flat, and that's going to be nailed in going all the way down, and then I'm going to do some finished wood going up each section. So stay tuned. Hey guys, so this is the completed bed frame here. I'm going to be doing multiple squares here with finger holes so you can pull them up and access underneath the bed, so we don't have to go around and move a bunch of stuff out just to get to, say, this area here. I'm going to make it really easy. That's pretty much it for the bed frame. The top of it is a different portion, because you may want to do this differently. You might want to just use one single sheet of 4x8, or, well, it'll be a little bit bigger than one single sheet of 4x8, but maybe 2 pieces. I'm going to make little individual pieces. But that is the completed bed frame. I imagine that everybody's build is going to be different than this, so I don't want to get too involved here. But I will show you what I'm doing here. I'm going to make a strip here next. I'm going to make a strip here, just half of this area, and you'll see why. So I can keep those squares that I'm going to make in place. I'm also going to make a lip on the back all the way across. Just a little bit, just high enough, half an inch to keep the birch squares in place. So that's pretty much it. I just did some bracing here in a couple areas. Now, if you want to go by code, it's supposed to be 16 inches apart. These are 16 inches apart each. However, these are not 16 inches apart. They are not really sure exactly because I didn't measure, but this is the way it has to be. Let me see here. It is 29 inches, so it's almost double. But I'm hoping that because these are close enough that is not going to be as relevant. If it is a problem and it bows down, then I'll have to go to a 3/4 inch birch piece, but I think it's going to be sufficient. I mean, we don't weigh a whole lot, so, and it's going to be distributed, you know, in a wide area, since this is just for sleeping and maybe to sit here to access the control panels, which are right there. Alright, continuing on. Alright, so I took a break for a few hours. I cut my first square here, so there's going to be a bigger one and a smaller one, but there's going to be 9 squares here. I went ahead and put the finished trim piece right there. Put the finished trim piece under there. So I just I cut the shiplap piece, and then I kind of pushed it in, and then I nailed it in from the top. Not much to it there, but it turned out really nice. You're only going to be able to see this from up underneath, obviously. So went ahead and cut this piece properly, and then I used some hose clamps to tighten that down. So that's done. I still have to put the return vent for the heater, but that's it. Everything is done underneath. That is the sensor, which I showed you in another video for another tank, but that's the KUS tank level sensor. Also on the top of there, I've got a pressure relief valve that you can get on Amazon. They only come in 1/2 or 3/4, and it's a 3/8 inch threaded female hole. So I had to get a 3/8 to 1/2 male, and then I used a 1/2 to 1/2 female threaded, so I could get that relief valve. It's made by Eastman, so just look for an Eastman pressure relief valve, and you'll see it on Amazon. And hopefully that's going to take care of the pressure in the tank without having to drill any holes on the outside of the vehicle. The last thing I have to do for the water tank is to mount the freshwater inlet, which I will do when that new inlet comes in, which should be tomorrow. I went ahead and mounted this strip here, which is only a 1/2 inch. It's just the birch, the same birch that I'm cutting those squares. And then I also did the birch piece for the front. It's really the back, but the front covering of that wood piece, and it comes up a 1/2 inch, which is just enough to hold in the wood squares that I'm putting up here. Okay. See you in the next video. I think that's it. The next thing I have to do is window framing, which will be a different series of videos, but this is the final video for the bread frame. See you in the next one. Okay, so kind of going backwards here. I forgot to do the finished video for the top there. So cut all the squares, rounded the corners a little bit so they didn't fray or crack on the edges. I am going to drill a little finger hole in each one of these, just so it's easier to pick up. That one is lifted up a little bit on the edge, so you can see we can throw our stuff down here. It'll be really easy to lift up the foam mattress that we have. It's very light, and be able to access the front. And also from the sides, we should be able to pull it and access the sides, but really it's going to be mainly this one right here that we need to access, because that's where we're going to be throwing a bunch of our stuff. And then, of course, we can access it from the back, too. So, really happy with the way this came out. Tomorrow, we're picking up our custom cut mattress at the Original Mattress Factory. That's not a promo for them, but I will tell you, I love that company. And the reason why is because they can custom make a mattress. You can literally draw the state of Florida, which they've done, and they cut a mattress in the shape of the state of Florida, like the size of this bed back here. It's crazy. It's sitting on the wall. So they can cut any size that you want and any shape. So anyway, it's going to be longer here and then shorter from here to here. And it's going to be a foam mattress. This will be our third one that we've purchased from them. Of course, we have one in the bus, and we have one in the house, and then one going in here. And it's just a foam mattress. So they obviously cannot do custom mattresses for like spring mattresses. So it's got to be a foam one, which they do a lot for RVs. And it'll be flippable. Now we can only flip it like this, obviously because of the pillars or whatever in the back. So that's pretty much it. See you in the next video.